welcome to Wild Boy Movies, the place to talk movies. And today, we're going to be reviewing Longlegs, a film that's described as the scariest movie of 2024. Right now, I'm going to have some information up on screen for you to read, like director, runtime, and PAA rating. All of that will be up on screen for you to read right now. But be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and comment down below your thoughts on Longlegs. But without further ado, let's get right into the pros. Alright, starting off, I gotta go ahead and praise the director, Oscar Perkins, who directed this movie because I feel like he did a great job with the directing of this movie and delivering a creepy atmosphere within this movie that he made about this serial killer going around murdering people and this detective having to try to catch him. I felt like that he did a great job delivering on that creepy tone that he was going for from what we saw in the trailers, and yeah, he did a good enough job for me to get more excited for his next movie that he'll be making, The Monkey. I also like the cryptic mystery that went down in this movie because just like this detective, you're figuring out what this Longlegs person is really doing and how he's pulling off these murders. And yeah, I do feel like that the mystery in here was pretty good and delivered a pretty surprising twist at the end of the movie that I did not even see coming at all. And the cryptic clues were great, not just in the movie itself, but in the marketing of this film because Neon, the studio that distributed this movie, did a great job with the cryptic marketing of the film, teasing you on what this movie is, and yeah, it ended up being a big success for the company Neon, being one of the biggest independent movies of the year. Also gotta praise the cinematography in this movie, cause yeah, I do think that the cinematography in here is pretty good, and talking about the way that the film was shot, I do like how it was like this your traditional aspect ratio of the film, but when it goes to like flashback sequences, it goes to like a squared format and it has like these little edges like rounded. I like that decision choice in this movie and didn't annoy me that the aspect ratio was changing constantly. But putting aside the aspect ratio, the cinematography in here was pretty good. Although, yeah, there are some sequences that are set in the dark where you can barely see anything. I do feel like that, yeah, the cinematography in here was done pretty well, especially with the usage of the color yellow, I want to say it was, particularly the color with the flashlight that the detectives use. I like the scenes that we saw with the flashlights because it looked pretty good on screen. But the biggest pro that I can give this movie is the two main leads of this movie, Micah Monroe and Nicolas Cage. Starting off with Micah Monroe, I thought she did a great job as this detective wanting to hunt down this Longlegs killer. And I thought she had a pretty interesting backstory involving this Longlegs killer that we see unfold throughout the events of the movie. Of course, I have to give big praise to Nicolas Cage as this long-legged serial killer because I thought he did a great job in the role of this sadistic serial killer, and Nicolas Cage does a great job in whatever he's in, whether that be his small cameo as Superman in Teen Titans Go to the Movies, or as the janitor in Willy's Wonderland, or even his role as Dracula in Renfield. This Longlegs character has to be among his best performances that he's given. Now, I've barely seen any Nicolas Cage movies, and I know I gotta see a lot more just because, yeah, I do think Nicolas Cage is a great actor, but yeah, I do think this Longlegs killer was a great role for Nick Cage to play, and his look that they've been hiding throughout the trailers and marketing of the movie, similar to what Focus Features did with Count Orlok in Nosferatu. I think Nicolas Cage kinda looks unrecognizable. Yeah, the face I could kinda see with the Nicolas Cage features like his face, but yeah, overall, he does not look unrecognizable. He does a great job in that role of this sadistic serial killer. But yeah, I found this to be a pretty good movie. It was good, and I do recommend that you guys give it a shot. But there are some things holding it back from being a great movie. So let's get into the cons. Starting off, I think that the second half of the movie does drag a bit now. I do think that runtime of hour 40 minutes in that second half is really needed in order to keep that mystery going and set up that big twist by the end of the movie. But to me, I feel like that they could have cut some parts out of the movie to make it like an hour and a half runtime, because I do feel like that there were some moments in like that second half of the movie that kind of bored me a bit. I also will say that there is a big gap between when we first see Nicolas Cage in the opening of the movie to when his second appearance is, and that is a big 40-minute gap from when we first see Nick Cage to the second appearance of Nick Cage in the movie. Now, I feel like that there should have been a scene somewhere in the middle of that 40 minutes that we don't see Nick Cage, so that we're reminded that, yeah, he is in the movie. But I do feel like that for a great actor, they had a long gap from the first Nick Cage appearance to his second appearance in the film. And lastly, I do think this movie was overhyped because, like I said at the beginning of this video, this movie was labeled as the scariest movie of 2024. And after seeing it, it wasn't the scariest movie of 2024, in my opinion. Now, that might be because I've seen Terrifier 3 and how graphic that movie was, or even Smile 2 with its 3 or 4 jump scares that actually got me. But Longlegs to me wasn't as scary as a lot of people were making it out to be. I felt like that, yeah, it was creepy, but it did not live up to that title of scariest movie of the year. And that did kind of lower my enjoyment of the film. But taking those cons aside, I do think that this is a good movie, and yeah, one that you should definitely check it out. But to me, it wasn't as great as I was hoping it would be from what we saw in the trailers, because I do feel like that first trailer is a really great trailer that got you interested and wanting to see this movie, and to me, it kind of did not live up to that trailer. But yeah, I still ended up liking it to where I'd watch it again someday. So for my scorecard, I'm gonna give Longlegs 3.5 stars, with the score out of 10 being 7.4 out of 10, with the percentage being 74%, with a grade of C, with my final verdict being overhyped but still good. But that was my review on Longlegs. I want to hear from you guys. What are you guys' thoughts on this movie? Go ahead and leave your thoughts down in the comments section. And while you're at it, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. And have a great day.